Iran's Revolutionary Guard has issued evacuation warnings for several oil and gas facilities across the Gulf. It comes after Israeli strikes hit a key gas facility in Iran's southern Bushehr province. The plant processes natural gas from the South Pars North Dome field, which Iran shares with Qatar. A spokesman for Qatar's foreign ministry has condemned Israel's attack as a dangerous and irresponsible step. Well, the IRGC has named several facilities in Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Qatar, saying they will be targeted by military strikes in the coming hours. It said that repeated warnings had previously been issued to Gulf governments, accusing them of pursuing what it described as a dangerous path. We're live this hour with our correspondents in Tehran, Dubai, Ramallah and the White House. We're going to first to Tehran. We're going to speak to Mohammed Val. So we're hearing more about this targeting in the province in southern Iran. What do we know?
Yes, we know that As-Salwiya in Bushehr has been attacked at one of the biggest oil and gas facilities in Iran. And that fire broke out in some sections of that facility. The authorities say they are putting the matter under control and that the area has been evacuated of the workers of the factory. But at the same time, Iran says this is a red line. The armed forces have issued an evacuation order for many facilities in the Gulf region. I'm going to tell you some of those, the names of some of those facilities. Jubail Petrochemicals in Saudi Arabia, also the Samref Refinery in Saudi Arabia. You have Ras Gas Laffan in Qatar, and also other facilities in the same countries. So about 5 or 6 oil and gas facilities in the Gulf region are now under threat because the Iranian armed forces have said that in the next few hours they are going to retaliate with attacks on those facilities and that they should be evacuated. Iran has always warned that this war should not take a turn that is going to be destructive and very costly to the region. It has warned the Gulf countries against allowing the Americans to use their airspace and their land and their sea for attacks against Iran. And also it has always been saying that if Iran's oil facilities are attacked, it will retaliate in kind against the same facilities in the Gulf region.
So let's go to Zain Basravi, who's in Dubai. Zain, we've sorted out the technical problems. Let's talk about the evacuation orders that Iran has issued as a result of that US and Israeli attack on the gas processing plant in southern Iran. What more can you tell us about the evacuation orders?
Well, we're 3 weeks into this war. And throughout the course of that time, GCC countries have seen retaliation from Iran in an escalatory manner. Throughout the course of the last 3 weeks, multiple attacks on multiple places, only getting worse. Throughout the course of today, we saw escalating attacks, missiles, drones, and now, by the end of today, it is likely to escalate, perhaps exponentially so, following these attacks on Iran's energy infrastructure. They have vowed they will retaliate, and they have said at least 5 different locations in 3 different countries. In the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar will be targeted as per what the Iranian government has put out in terms of a warning. They've said to stay away, to citizens and residents around the following facilities, a warning to stay away from oil facilities in Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. The Samref Refinery in Saudi Arabia, Hosn gas field in the UAE, Jubail Petrochemical complex in Saudi Arabia, the Mesaieed Petrochemical complex and Mesaieed holding company affiliated with Chevron, they say, in Qatar, and Laffan Refinery, also in Qatar, phases 1 and 2. It's very specific here. We should remind people that at the beginning of the war, in the first week, first 10 days of the war, there were attacks on an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia, on Laffan, the gas refinery, liquid natural gas refinery in Qatar. Iran denied being responsible for those attacks. They said they didn't do it. Now, whether or not you believe them, countries in the region didn't. They still accused Iran of carrying out those attacks. Iran denied it. Here, they're stating very clearly that we intend on targeting these locations and you should leave the area. And they have said, after repeated warnings given by Iran, that it would do this. Their energy infrastructure coming under attack, they're going to mete out a tit-for-tat response. Now, we also have a reaction from Qatar's foreign ministry, the spokesman Majid al-Ansari, reacting to this, saying the Iran South Pars field being targeted by Israel, which extends into Qatar's North gas field. It is a dangerous step Targeting energy infrastructure is a threat to global energy security, the people of the region, and the environment. A very clear warning, a very clear reaction from Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs there.
Zain, it's worth remembering, of course, that apparently there are Gulf countries meeting in Riyadh later to discuss the security challenges that the region is facing. What more do we know about that meeting?
Well, in the beginning of the day when the meeting was announced, it was really going to be addressing the last few weeks, a status quo kind of continuous bombardment of these Gulf Arab cities as far as the retaliation. But just to illustrate the day's events, how dynamic this conflict is, there's been targeted assassinations, attacks on energy infrastructure, Israel saying they're going to kill anyone in the Iranian leadership that they want to, Iran saying that they're going to use more potent and precise weapons and more heavy weapons to carry out its retaliatory attacks on whoever they deem necessary, wherever they deem necessary. The escalation just in the last 10 or 12 hours has been exponential. So this meeting that Riyadh has called, where foreign ministers of Gulf Arab countries, other Arab countries, Islamic countries, was with the aim of further consultation and coordination on ways to support the security and stability of the region. It's going to take on a great deal more urgency and immediacy now with these attacks lined up by Iran, planned for the coming hours. What the leaders in the Gulf Arab states, these people caught in the middle geographically and politically in this war, will be trying to do is bringing political pressure to bear, bringing diplomatic pressure to bear, to try to have the voice of reason rise up above the din of all this violence. But the reality is, the longer this conflict goes on, the more weapons that are used, the more severe the attacks are by Israel and the United States against Iran, by Iran in retaliation, the softer the voice of reason becomes. And that's really the challenge for Gulf Arab leaders that are continuing to push for diplomacy as a way forward.
That's Zain Bashrawi breaking that down for us from Dubai. Zain, thank you very much indeed.